No.
At the camp.
Your laptop there.
Your laptop's there.
He was one of the most trusted people in his community, a Christian faith leader who took young school children on summer holiday camps every year. But last summer, John Reuben was arrested after drugging 8 young boys at that camp in order to sexually abuse them. He's been jailed for more than 23 years.
Our children themselves.
Right, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem. Rakakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of great most and that rule well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'm the brother Kalab, and I'm from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you to give you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to hopefully edify the elect and those of which I spoke of. So, this is a news report I saw yesterday, where you've got this filthy Edomite who you can see on the screen here. Now, we call him an Edomite because that's what his nationality is according to the Holy Bible. You know, there's no such thing as white people or black people or, you know, the Chinese people or anything like that. You know, that's not truth. The truth is that according to the Bible, every person goes back to one of 18 nationalities, and they all have names which were given them according to the Bible. Now, this man here, who appears to be a so-called white man, he is actually an Edomite because his lineage goes back to the descendants of Esau. Yeah, and in the Bible, the Edomites are known as the wicked. I'm going to get these scriptures to prove these points a little later on. But the fact of the matter is that it's yet another case of another dirty Edomite getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar, trying to abuse small children. Now, I done this video yesterday, and it just so turns out that I saw 2 other news reports of similar activity of PDF files, which I'm going to do videos on, Lord willing. But this is the time where a lot of these Edomites are getting exposed, because this guy, he presented himself as a Christian faith leader in order to gain access to other people's children, so that then he could then drug and abuse them. And God only knows how many years this guy has been doing this shit for. But it just so turns out that now in I think he got caught in 2025, and he's just been sentenced recently. His dirt is coming out. So another point I want to make is that this guy ain't no Christian, man. Because in order to be a real Christian, according to the Bible, you have to be an Israelite. But according to the, you know, terminology of today's world, anybody can be a Christian. But, you know, this guy, he ain't one of the chosen. He ain't one of the descendants of Jacob, because that's what the Israelites are. They're the descendants of Jacob, the chosen people, because the birthright and the blessings went down from Abraham unto Isaac and rested upon his son Jacob and his 12 children. This guy is the descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. And Esau is basically the reincarnation of Cain in the Bible. For those of you who may not be familiar with the story, Cain is the person who committed the first murder by slaying his brother Abel. Well, guess what? Cain and Abel came back in the reincarnation, because reincarnation is biblical, as Jacob and Esau. And this man is a descendant of Esau because he has biblical leprosy. According to the Bible, he'd be considered a clean leper because his blood shows forth through his skin. Now, the mark of leprosy was the mark that was placed upon Cain after he slew his brother, so that any man finding him wouldn't slay him, because he knew that retribution was something that may be taken against him. But the Most High put a mark upon Cain so that anybody finding him wouldn't slay him, because they'd know that this man has that mark of leprosy. When he came back in the reincarnation as Esau, he still carried that mark of leprosy with him, and he has it down right unto this day. Now, that isn't to say that you won't get Edomites who may look like the other nations, because you're going to get Israelites that also look like the other nations. But for the most part, this is the typical look of an Edomite. But yeah, you can get Edomites who look like black people or Chinese people or whoever people, because, you know, just as Israel has been scattered among all people and Israel is a speckled bird, guess what? That applies to the other nations too, who have mingled their seed and may not look like the typical Edomite that you see here, but if their lineage goes back to the man in the Bible named Esau, because your lineage is determined by your forefathers, well, then guess what? You are what your forefathers are, and you'd be an Edomite. So let's play more of this clip.
Admired and respected John.
After drugging 8 young boys at that camp in order to sexually abuse them, he's been jailed for more than 23 years.
Our children themselves admired and respected John. But what we have found out is that John is a devious sexual predator. There are no words to describe how much John's actions anger us and horrify us.
As he was led away, 38 children can be heard in the background. Some were taken to hospital after becoming sick and dizzy. Another boy was found by officers inside Stathen Lodge, slumped over the table. It was here that they played the sweet game. The children said Reuben asked them to eat the sweets as quickly as possible. The winner got a chocolate bar. But the sweets had been laced with sedatives, illegally purchased on the dark web and injected through the wrappers. All 62 found at the scene were contaminated.
Yeah, this is a madness, man. So what this guy done is he got these other people's children, or got to these other people's children, by posing himself as a Christian faith leader. So therefore, he earned the trust of the people in the community. Then when he did take their children, he gave them sweets laced with sedatives, and God only knows what else was in there, which he injected into the sweets through the wrapper, and then told the children to eat them as fast as possible, and that the winner would get a chocolate bar. This guy's a real devious, nasty piece of work, man. But this is Esau for you, man. This is Esau for you. Let's get a few pieces before I continue. What do I want to get? Let's see. Let me see. Let's get Sirach 12. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humbleth himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. Yeah, these Edomites, they're devious, low-life characters, man. And this is their nature, to do disgusting shit like this. Let's get another one, Job 30. And this isn't nothing new, by the way. I want to make a point here because when I was a child in the 1980s, there was a lot of people who used to go to things like, what do they call it? Is it the brownies or the beavers or something? Or the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or whatever it is they used to call that shit, right? And it would be these, middle-aged weirdo Edomites who, just look creepy, who would be running these things and taking people's children to these little things. And I remember back in the day, my mum never used to let me go to shit like this because she used to say that, a lot of there were a lot of kiddie fiddlers in that type of environment. So she never had me growing up in these environments. She never entrusted me or my brother to be going up with any old random ass person, some strange ass dude taking your children into the forest to do camping and all kind of madness. Nah, my mum weren't playing those games because this is an old thing. This isn't something that Esau's just started doing yesterday or today. No, he's been doing it for years. Going back to obviously what was my mum's generation or whatever when she was a child. Like, was it late 50s, 60s, 70s? This is a known thing that these Edomites do. It's only now that in 2020 people are actually starting to look at these people sideways because more and more people over the years, including a lot of celebrities, have been caught in being part of these paedophile rings or into this type of lifestyle. It's only now that the mainstream are starting to question these things and look at it a bit more with a bit more scrutiny. But truth be told, this has been going on for many years, many years. Even with what do you call it? A couple, was it, man? Can't remember when it was. It was in the 20 teens, like between 2010 and 2020. There was a scandal that came out about some of these football, was it football club coaches or scouts? You know, that scandal got swept under the rug. But yeah, a lot of these young football players who want to, you know, because you have to start early if you want to be a pro footballer. You know, a lot of these young children who are going to like under was it under 11 youth football clubs, or, you know, whatever. Forgive me, I'm not the biggest football fan, but, you know, these youth football clubs or whatever, you know, some of those children were getting molested by the coaches and stuff like that. That scandal got swept under the rug, and, you know, the media ran another news cycle to sort of divert attention from that. But we can't forget these things. You know, this is a very dark world we live in, and it's controlled by a very dark people, which I'm going to get into here. Job 30 verse 1. Speaking of the Edomites. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, where too might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former times desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes, and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men, they cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Yeah, because you Edomites, you're the real Caucasians, you're the real cave dwellers. You know, that's why, you know, a lot of these modern societies look like, you know, there's holes carved in the rock. You know, if you go back to Mount Seir, you see a lot of the architectural style is what you'll find in a lot of these modern cities, such as, you know, America, Babylon the Great, you know, the UK, London, you know, France, you know, all these areas where Edomites have populated and dominated. They've brought that architectural style with them, because that's one of the markers and identifiers of who these people are. So it says, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were the children of fools, yea, children of base men, and they were viler than the earth. Going to get one more in Job here. This is Job 9 and 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? Yeah, so these Edomites, they've covered the faces of the true judges of the earth, which are us Israelites, and they've masqueraded as the people of the book, including this damn devil here that you see on the screen. I mean, just look at his face, he looks like a damn freak. You know, what does the scripture say? The account enough doth bear witness against them, roughly paraphrasing. You can see this guy's a weirdo, complete weirdo. But yeah, he's posting as he's posing as a Christian faith leader in order to gain access to people's children. Then when he did get access to their children, he's feeding them sweets laced with all kinds of drugs to knock them out, so then he can sodomize them. Disgusting. But this is the world we live in, man. And we've got to call this stuff out, man. Because in the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom that's going to be ran by us Israelites, do you think this shit's going to be going on? No way, man. Because we're going to be able to execute judgments upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. We'll be able to fulfill the letter of the law of the Bible 100%. And also, we're going to be all righteous because we're going to have those new bodies. So anytime one of these heathens goes off and tries to do some mad shit, we're going to be the ones who are going to be judging them and sorting this shit out, man. But it's under this corrupt ruler Esau that this madness is allowed to happen. Let's keep playing this.
Two found at the scene were contaminated.
John Reuben is a vile, horrific offender. He has used his position of trust within the community to allow him to have access to, in a number of examples, not all, but a number of examples where the children are quite vulnerable. And he's used that position to allow himself to gain his own satisfaction, sexual gratification from that.
Have you given any children anything?
Can't promise them.
Okay. If you have, what is it that you've given them?
I can't promise them that.
Reuben refused to help medics by telling the police exactly what the children had ingested. The judge said to him, if ever there was a time for confession, John Reuben, it was then, and you lied and lied. John Reuben also admitted drugging his wife, putting sedatives in her tea so that she wouldn't wake up and witness the abuse. She told the court, he is a monstrous paedophile. The Independent Office for Police Conduct is investigating the police response, and officers admit we may never know the true extent of John Reuben's offending under the cloak of Christianity.
See, I have to I have to laugh, man, because this is what modern Christianity will get you, man. Guys like this masquerading as if they're men of the Lord. I mean, you can just see by this guy's countenance, man. Just look at his eyes. You can see this guy's a damn devil, man. But hey, modern Christianity has that whole thing about, oh yeah, well, you know, anybody can just proclaim the name Jesus, and no matter what, you could be a black man, white man, you know, China man, Indian man, you know, Muslim man, you can convert, you know, they make themselves open to all people, and everybody can come to Jesus, and if you just give your life to Jesus, you can be saved. Nah, that ain't how it works, man. The real Christians were the Israelites, and they were first called Christians at Antioch. Let's get that. This is Acts 11 and verse 26. And it says, let's read from 25. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. So those disciples, they were Israelites. And then they were called Christians. But modern Christianity is so far from the truth that now people have lost sight of what the word Christian actually meant or who it was originally referring to. So that's why you can get dirty damn demons like this dude here able to run up in the cut.
He is a monstrous paedophile. The Independent Office for Police Conduct is investigating the police response, and officers admit we may never know the true extent of John Reuben's offending.
Yeah, that's why you're able to get guys like this, filthy ass Edomites, able to run up in the cut and deceive people. It's like, yeah, bear me a second. Yeah, able to run up in the cut and deceive people into thinking that, yeah, these are men of the Lord, and we should entrust them with our children. Absolutely ridiculous, man. So lucky for the noise in the background. I've got a fan running. It's just kicking into high speed. But I'm going to wrap this lesson up here anyway. So with that, Lord willing, this is an edifying one. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles, a great millstone that will well. And shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you in the next lesson, Lord's willing. Shalom for now.